Sarah Witherington. I remember the first time that I ever noticed laughter. My parents and I were just sitting in a room. I was really young, and they were just having like a normal conversation, and then all of a sudden they had just like started like laughing so hard, and they were like rolling on the floor laughing. And you know, little 10-year-old self, I was just like wanting to be a part like so bad, but I had no idea what they were laughing at. So I just like kind of started like giggling a little bit, but like the harder they started laughing, the more I like got into my own laugh, even though I had no idea what was going on. So their contagious reaction was just like so contagious to me. Like I just wanted to be a part so bad. Laughing is a really weird thing if you think about it. Like we make sounds like that come out of our mouth as a reaction to what we think is funny. So if that doesn't make you really self-conscious about your laughing. So I'm going to play two audio things of people laughing, and I just thought they were hilarious. It's probably just me, but hopefully it's all in here. Hopefully it works. All right, well, I'm gonna try one more time, sorry. Sorry, this is not it. Okay, here we go. That's the first one, and then here's the second one. Oh gosh.
Look perfect in every pose. Swipe with now and treat yourself to face turn 2.
Okay.
Jim, you're on a roll.
Videos, sorry they took a long time, but basically just like hearing those just makes me like, I mean, I watch some of these contagious laughter videos and I just crack up. Like I think they're hilarious. But anyway, so laughing is very contagious. I'll begin my speech by defining and examining what laughter is, and then I'll go into two different types of laughter to show that humans have a good connection when they're laughing together, and then also how it affects ourselves especially, and then the other people around us. And then to conclude, I'm going to give a challenge to become people who laugh more, and this increases the quality of life. So let's begin by examining and defining laughter. The Cambridge Dictionary defines laughter as to smile while making sound with your voice that show that you think something is funny or you're happy. So it's a very like positive thing. I want to talk about breathing and talking versus laughing. So when you're breathing, the muscles inside your ribs are working to get air out. So this is what this looks like, very constant, kind of, you're just breathing normal. And then when you talk, those muscles work a little bit harder to squeeze the air out. And so this is what it looks like when you're talking. So it's a little bit more jagged. These are like the sounds that you're making. And then when you laugh, this is like breathing and talking's worst enemy. It looks like this. So those muscles are contracting like really hard, and they're squeezing that air out. And then all these jagged lines are the noises that you make. So they're very inconsistent, and that's why when you feel out of breath or your abs hurt after laughing, it's because those muscles are working really hard to get that air out. And then let me talk about for a second just what laughter is associated with. So laughter is typically associated with tickling or playing or something that you have an interaction with somebody else. So you're 30% more likely to laugh if you have an interaction with someone. Typically we laugh to make people think that we like them, or to make them feel like I understand what you're saying and I'm laughing with you. So you're creating that bond with people. And then it's contagious because you want to be a part of that so bad. So like if two of your friends are laughing, you want to like join in with them and like have that bond that they're having. You want to have that with them. So that's why it's so contagious. Sophie Scott did a TED Talk on why we laugh, and she presented 2 different types of laughter. The first one is posed, and then the second one is a real laugh. So when I say posed, you typically think like fake, like it's a fake laugh. But when I say posed, I mean like a voluntary, polite, social laugh. So you're not really close with somebody, but you're interacting with them, you want to like, relate to them in some way, you're going to do a more social laugh. This breaks the awkwardness a lot, so like I said, like when you meet someone, it's a lot easier to like laugh about something, because then later when you see them again, you have something that you can relate to them. Your discernment between a posed and a real laugh really doesn't reach its peak until you're in your 30s and 40s. And so if you think about a small child, like they'll pretty much laugh at anything that you say. And even if they don't know like what is going on, they'll always like join in laughing with you. And then the saying, you get grumpier as you get older, that's just like in this case, you're just more wise and you can discern between a real laugh and a posed laugh. So it takes a little bit more to weed the fake laughs out. So now that we understand that posed means social instead of fake, I'm going to talk about real laugh. So real laugh is like an involuntary, spastic, uncontrolled laugh. So think of this picture. Very uncontrolled, not very consistent. The Journal of Neuroscience says that laughter creates chemical bonds between people. So your body releases endorphins that create that bond between people. So laughter can cover up like real embarrassing moments. So your brain's thinking one thing and then something else happens to you, and so you laugh when you realize how the two connect. So I'm going to give you an example. I saw this on Twitter the other day. I saw a flat circular thing rapidly coming towards my face. The next thing I know, I'm laying on the ground next to a frisbee. So in one moment you're like, there's something coming at me, but then the next moment you're on the ground and a frisbee had just hit your face. So in that moment you could laugh to cover up an embarrassing moment. It also just eases nervousness. So like I said, when you meet someone and you're nervous, talking to them eases that tension. And then laughter in your everyday life, laughter is more than just like a necessity, like for social reasons and creating bonds with people. I'm gonna give a quick story. My friend's dad died a couple years ago, and in her speech at his funeral, she literally just like told stories of funny moments with her dad and like remembering those fun times with him. And the whole time that she was doing her speech, she was like looking at her mom and like basically talking to her mom. So they were like laughing together, sharing a moment together, as if to say like, we can get through this together. So laughter can be really bonding and kind of a special moment. Martin Rod did an experiment on humor, and he said that the greater your sense of humor, the more positive your lifestyle. So in conclusion, I've examined and defined laughter as a whole. It's just an outward showing of people that are happy. And then it also creates a bond between humans. And then it also there are also 2 different types of laughter, posed and real. And both are, like, neither are fake, like I said. And then it also just increases the positivity of life by relieving stress, like in embarrassing moments. You could be really stressed about, oh gosh, I just embarrassed myself. Well, and so you could just laugh. So I want to leave you by thinking of the word life giver. Laughter is one of the most effective ways to give life to people. So my challenge to you is to choose to be a life giver.
I think we lost Courtney. Courtney.
It's me.
Hallie, that's right, okay. Do you see anything about, it's always interested me about comedians and how they, what makes
Yeah.
what makes?
I read a little bit about that. I was going to go that direction and do like more humor instead of like laughing. But I did read one thing that said a lot of comedians use things that are very like relatable to people and make them like kind of funny. Like sometimes like they use a lot of like embarrassing moment type things or just like relatable things that people are like, oh my gosh, me too. So like that bond with your audience type thing. But I didn't really read as much into that. I could have gone that direction.
I
But
think it is relatable. I think you're right on there, but always a joke is always has the surprise, the thing you did not
Yes.
anticipate.
yeah,
And
yeah. That's like the thing
That's
about like the
basically-
frisbee hitting your face, like your brain it's connecting the two, like, oh.
Yeah. Good, okay. Great. Thank you, Sarah.